On the gift plane from Qatar, three things. Is there a timeline for the U.S. receiving that plane? Do you know how long it will take to retrofit the plane to presidential standards? And thirdly, has the intelligence community, security folks, have they weighed in on whether that plane can actually be secured to presidential standards?
I'm glad you brought up this question because I was watching the American press spew a lot of misinformation about the plane donation last week when we were abroad. Let's be very clear. The government of Qatar, the Qatari family, has offered to donate this plane to the United States Air Force, where that donation will be accepted according to all legal and ethical obligations. It will be retrofitted to the highest of standards by the Department of Defense and the United States Air Force. This plane is not a personal donation or a gift to the President of the United States. And everyone who wrote that last week should go and correct their stories, because this is a donation to our country and to the United States Air Force.
The left will always attribute the worst possible motives to Donald Trump because they have a deep disdain for him and his presidency. And of course, what this means is that every single thing he does is the worst thing ever. It's the end of democracy. It's the end of the Constitution. It's the end of our country. However, of course, they're always wrong in every single instance. And that's exactly what we're going to be seeing pointed out here by Andrew Schulz, the Charlamagne the God, over on their Brilliant Idiots podcast. But before we get these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Are we in a post-constitutional society?
I mean, it depends. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
The Constitution should not be flexible.
But does it say in the Constitution you're not allowed to accept a $500 million plane? $500 million?
Yes, but the U.S. Constitution prohibits government officials from accepting gifts from any king, prince, or foreign state.
I believe. So what, and then the pushback that you're going to get from anybody that is defensive of it is he's removed the veil, meaning this is what all presidents, right and left, have done.
Right. The Clinton Foundation does the same.
So the Clinton Foundation, when Hillary is the Secretary of State or something like that, I forget what it was, they were getting donations to the tune of like $50 million a year. I think
go back to doing it sneakily.
Well, or 250. The second she stops being Secretary of State, they shut down the foundation. So some people go, oh, this was just a vessel to, get influence within the administration. And what people say is back in the day, they did it sneakily. And what Trump is doing, he's doing it in your face. Like, for example, Nancy Pelosi trades with insider information for decades. We all criticize it. We say it's wrong. Trump goes, Monday's going to be a crazy day. I'd buy some stocks if I were you. People go, how is he doing this? Is insider trading. There are a lot of people, I imagine, on Trump's side that go, well, finally, he's letting us get in on it. Before, it was just Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Now he's letting everybody get a fair shake. What I think the best criticism is, none of it should happen. But I guess what I'm trying to say is this is a great opportunity for us to reform the way people in positions of political power, right and left, are able to accept legal bribes. And if we make it a partisan issue, then we'll just have bickering from the left and the right about, but your side does it, but your side does it. When instead we should all just go, both sides do it.
Agree, but this is a guy whose biggest campaign platform.
You just got a boner for Trump, bro. It's like he's doing the same shit they all do, bro.
Hold on a second. Hold on. He ran on draining the swamp.
I get the idea. I thought the swamp was permanent government. I thought the swamp were these people that were the quote unquote deep state, the people that were making decisions without the behest of the American people. That's
being
what I
funded by corporate entities. And the corporate money that you can't see.
But I think, unfortunately, people and I'm not saying that you're wrong to have these feelings. I think a lot of people have these feelings, but they have such a hard on for Trump that they don't just go, hey, the system itself needs reform, and we should use this as an example, along with examples that past Republicans and Democrats have done, to reform it all.
I want that, but I also just simply want an elected official who follows the Constitution.
Right. Habeas corpus.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is the thing about, and I don't want to seem like I'm defending because habeas corpus it's basically the right to hold somebody without charging them,
right,
which unfortunately throughout American history we have done. FDR did it with the internment camps during World War II. Lincoln did it during the Civil War. It is fundamental. Upholding habeas corpus is fundamental to the American identity. We cannot hold you without charging with you. Once we do that, it's a tyrannical dictatorship. So I 100% agree with that. To say that he's doing something that is novel or threatening potentially to do something that is novel or different than past presidents that we look at as heroes, as American icons, I would
the
say
internment
is
camps
unfair.
are definitely a stain. I mean, but that's all this stuff, right? I mean, look, I don't know, did you guys watch the video of the mother being arrested this weekend in Massachusetts and her daughters are trying to stop the ICE agents?
Which one? I've seen so many different videos.
Look, I know immigration is a problem. I'm not for a second saying we don't have to address that. But when you see stuff like that.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. We're emotional people.
I'm like, you say, who were the Nazi guards? Who were the slave catchers tracking down slaves?
Yeah, I wouldn't compare it to that at all.
Man, when you're ripping,
It's got to start somewhere.
you're ripping mothers away from their kids.
I think you do a disservice to what Jews experienced during Nazi
saying
Germany.
that as a Jew.
And I think you're like half. And then I think
half of me says it. Then.
I think that you're doing a disservice to what slaves experienced.
But what
slavery.
Charles says is true.
Somewhere.
It didn't. Yes, the first day in 1938 or whatever,
Yeah.
it looked like this.
Yeah.
And then not enough people said stuff, and it escalated and escalated and escalated, and then you got where you're going.
You could make the argument, or they would make the argument, that these people are here illegally. They're breaking the law being here, whereas simply being Jewish in Germany in the late 1930s shouldn't have been illegal. These were German citizens that were being snatched up. And the same thing with slaves. You could make the argument, I guess slavery was illegal at the time. So
It was illegal to leave a plantation if you were a
Yeah,
slave.
it was illegal,
So,
but it was also the slavery itself is this immoral, deplorable institution that, and what is that Martin Luther King quote? Like, I don't even know if it's a Martin Luther King quote, but like,
What is it?
Opposing like you have a moral obligation to fight back against immoral laws, something like that.
So despite being a left-leaning person, I really like the way that Andrew Schulz is willing to play devil's advocate and say that, oh, the Democrats would make this argument, but the Republicans would make this argument. So it gives like a modicum of fairness to this entire left-leaning panel we have going on over here. But Charlamagne is posing the question, do we live in a post-constitutional world? And the answer, of course, is no, because like it or not, Donald Trump actually is abiding by all of the Supreme Court rulings. You might not like the way he's abiding by them or the way he's interpreting those rulings, but he actually is. But getting back to the first point about Donald Trump accepting the plane from Qatar, right? It's not going to him, it's going to the country, specifically to the Air Force. But when a country offers you a $400 million gift for free and you're in need of that very item, then why not take it? But of course, we're not going to see that pointed out from the panel. Instead, we're going to say, oh, he can't accept bribes. Of course he can't, and he's not. But Andrew Schulz, of course, has to fire back, right? Donald Trump is just being open about all of this, whether you think it's bribery or not, as opposed to Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, right? And the Bidens, okay? You have the Clinton Foundation, where as soon as Bill Clinton is no longer president and as soon as Hillary Clinton is no longer Secretary of State, guess what? The foundation shuts down. They're no longer receiving any contributions. And it makes you wonder, why in the world were they getting money in the first place? And of course, that's for power and influence. And of course, you have Hunter Biden on the board of Chinese companies and Ukrainian companies, even though he has zero qualifications in any of those fields, and he's getting millions upon millions of dollars and documented sending money back to the big guy, okay? But never mind any of that. But Donald Trump, of course, accepting a plane on behalf of the American people that is not for his own personal use, oh, that is a bridge too far. And then, of course, there's the accusation of insider trading. Oh, Donald Trump, let the whole world know that it's a good time to buy stocks that have already fallen by 10 to 20%. Yeah, you don't need the president to tell you that, okay? But of course, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these people in Congress, they can enrich themselves with all of their insider information, and that's totally legal, totally fine. And you wonder how all of these people go into Congress, paupers, and come out multimillionaires, all right? This is exactly how. But Donald Trump is just lifting back the veil and showing how everything is being made, because it really forces everyone to question what the heck is going on there. And this is the chance for real reform, as is being pointed out. When we talk about the swamp, what actually was the swamp? And yes, of course, it was the unelected officials that are actually running the country. And of course, they have huge donations from big campaigns. But then you get to the concept of Donald Trump rounding up large swaths of to illegal immigrants, right? Remember, we got 20 plus million in here just over the last 4 years, and probably closer to 50 million in total over the last several decades. And Donald Trump wants to get rid of all of them. So what's he doing? He's rounding them up in large swaths. He's finding them every single place they can, whether they're mothers or fathers or sisters or brothers, who cares? If they're here illegally, they are officially breaking our laws. And this is something, of course, Andrew Schulz points out, right? When you compare all of these illegals being rounded up to, of course, the Jews in Germany or the slaves pre-Civil War, it really belittles what they actually went through, right? This is not the same thing. The people who are here illegally willfully chose to break our laws, and we're finding them. The Jews and the slaves, they did nothing wrong. So comparing the two groups actually does a huge disservice to the horrors of what they actually faced. But I wouldn't expect that kind of nuance coming from the left. So Andrew Schulz, of course, does a great job defending Trump's position while at the same time being a little pragmatic about the whole thing. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.